Hey guys, Dantics here. This is the perfect starship, made with the latest and greatest parts thanks to the release of the Free Lanes update, which is free to all players, and the Terran Armada DLC. Also, yes, you can finally build starships on PlayStation 5. I'm updating my previously extremely popular design thanks to Bethesda, because Free Lanes offers a new way to travel through space in cruise mode. By doing so, you can find new equipment for your ship. There are new locations, more powerful enemies, and improvements to New Game Plus. Most importantly though, Terran Armada brings with it a massive focus on space exploration and combat, along with new ship parts. So we're taking those parts and making this, the Planet Espresso. It has the perfect amount of energy to keep what you need powered up without playing around with your systems. It's extremely fast and maneuverable for a Class C ship, but you won't even need to dogfight since it's functionally immortal using the new armor part and powerful shields, with the vulnerable modules being hidden away in the ship's core, which means the enemies will never be able to disable them. That's if the enemy can even damage you, because this ship automatically decimates anything at a crazy long range with powerful turrets, but it can also engage enemies manually with weapons and missiles, which also makes asteroid farming easy. It has all the habitation modules you require, including every crafting table and tons of room to customize without all the unsightly ladders requiring you to slow your movement through your ship to a crawl. Yes, this ship lets you get around with stairs. It can be crewed by the maximum amount of companions. It has a huge amount of both shielded and unshielded cargo space, as well as scan jammers for your inner Han Solo smuggling operations, and a repeatable one is offered in the Free Lanes DLC. The ship has the maximum jump range, so you can get anywhere without messing around with pit stops, plus it looks damn sleek to boot. The original ship was modeled after the Klingon bird of prey, but this is something else entirely. If you want to ignore the form factor and maximize for stats, you could remove the wings and add more powerful engines. If you don't have the Terran Armada DLC, you could substitute the engines, the double-decker habs, the armor, and the cockpit, and it would still be fully functional. So in this video, I'll show you exactly how to build this monster. But first, let's take a tour. So let's start our tour on my favorite place in the ship, the bridge. So this is a brand new bridge part thanks to the Terran Armada DLC. As you can see, it is quite spacious. So you have your cold pilots up ahead, you have a lot of space to see outside into the void. You have some stations on the side here, you have your artillery here, you have your cargo hold, and you can decorate from there. There's also a lot of space back here to put down all your crafting tables if you really want, and one of these new ship optimization terminals, which lets you upgrade the power of your ship, so get those all done by using X-Tech. Also, to get out of the ship, it's just here. So if you dock with a space station or dock with another ship, you just come here and then jump straight back on the bridge, which is really nice because this is where you need to fly the ship. You'll also notice that it has staircases instead of having ladders, which is nice and sightly. First off, this is our captain's quarters. Now, you can put in an armory as well and have all your weapons and armor displayed. You can sleep here with your partner. This is just for vanity's sake. This is where the captain comes. Now, everyone else has to go through one of these doors. To the left here, we have some of our crafting tables. To the right, we also do as well. As you can see,
oh, you're back.
That is also a new companion.
Not me though.
I've left a lot of these empty so you can customize as you see fit. And then we have a staircase going to the top here, which I'll show you very soon. First though, you'll notice that to exit the ship, it's just here. We don't have to deal with any ladders going up like we used to in the old design. Instead, we just come here and go down, and then we can go between the two sections of the ship. So I would say the middle is more the workings of the ship. You'll want to put your, for example, workbenches there. You'll want to put crew stations there, so on and so forth. And upstairs is even more room for you to decorate. I probably should have opened these hatches before I did the tour, but you have rooms to look out of. You have connective tissue to go between levels. You have a big open space here. I'd probably make that like a gym or something. And you have another area that way. But you'll notice that you can actually travel into the wings of the ship. So right now we're in the wing, and of course these are the crew's quarters. You can see at the back of the ship. So we have within the wings where all the crew can sleep and decorate themselves. So we'll go into the other wing, and we have, of course, more areas for the crew. So the crew, like nice little servants, stay in the wings, and we, as the captain of the ship, get free reign of the middle and most protected part of the ship, right here. Now, if you wanted to, you can actually place a window looking out into the void of space on top, but I put a missile launcher there because I just wanted to. So the crew are the furthest possible spot away from your quarters, so you can make as much noise in there as you want. It's an entirely customizable ship with lots of space to put whatever you want. Close access, you can put all your stations in there or in here. You can put all your pets in one room, so on and so forth. So how do we build this monster? The first thing you want to do is build an outpost. So I built an outpost on a random planet here, Terran 3. So what you do is you jump into build mode and you build yourself a landing pad with ship builder. It only takes beryllium, adaptive frames, iron, and 0 wire. You can track those materials and find them out into the world, and it looks like this. But here's one I've prepared earlier. Some of these parts you'll need to get from other places in the universe. If you need to do that, build the core of the ship first, put on something temporary, like a temporary cockpit, for example. This cockpit can only be gotten from Anchorhead in the new DLC. So put on a temporary one for now, and then fly there and put on the new one. But everything else can be built at this ship builder control console. When I say everything else, it has almost every part. You won't need to jump around the galaxy trying to collect every single part because different manufacturers have different things in stock. This shipbuilder control console at your home base will have almost all of the different manufacturers and their parts within it. Also note, to begin, you need to have some credits. It's hard to track exactly how much because of all my discount skills, but I'm sure someone will do the math in the comments and I'll pin it to the top. So jump into your ship builder control console, view and modify ships, and we have Planet Espresso in all its glory. Now you'll notice the reactor has 41, which is one more than the previous maximum. I'll go through how that happened very soon. But essentially, you won't need to play around with all your ship systems. You should be able to keep most things powered at all times, except the grav drive and a little bit of the particle systems or engine or shield. You'll see how that all functions a bit later, but there's enough power to power kind of everything in this ship. So jumping into the ship builder, I'll run through exactly how to build this. First thing to note is that there is a lot of steps involved, so I recommend pausing the video and doing it along with me. Before you get started, you might want to grab yourself a Drake C7 cockpit. This is a brand new cockpit from the Free Lanes DLC. Anchorhead is a new area, a new space station, and that's where you buy this. It's interesting in that it can attach weapons to the side here, as you can see with the auto Hellion beams. You can also put a weapon or anything you want at the top there, and you can attach a habitation module at the back and to the sides, and you can slot things on the bottom. So if I really wanted to, I could take these portholes off and I could attach this to the top like an actual Cylon ship if I really wanted to make a bridge. But let's not do that today. Let's stick to the plan, and I'll put these back. The great thing about this cockpit is that you can put a slim docker on the top, which means when you enter from another ship or from a space station, you enter straight into the bridge, which is really good, and it keeps the whole profile of the ship very smooth, and you don't get, dockers coming out of the top, which makes it very nice. So the first thing we'll do is grab one of these, and then we'll come back to this area to our outposts and commence building. Though there are a few other parts you might need to run around the galaxy to get, One of them is the SAL 6830 engine. You need to complete a particular mission. The mission you get this is called All That Money Can Buy. It's involving going to Slayton Aerospace, and you have to make sure you don't kill the final boss kind of guy. And if you make peace, you'll unlock the ability to build these engines. These are probably the best engines in the game because they only take 2 max power. And you'll notice that my mobility and top speed isn't the best that it could be. But if I was to, for example, place 3 of these 6830 engines instead of the Supernova, instead of the Artemis here, this would actually be very fast and very maneuverable. So the reason I have these other engines here is purely for cosmetics. It just looks cool and I just wanted a cool looking ship. But if you wanted to optimize for pure power and mobility, you can absolutely do that just by putting a ton of these down. Now, we have to grab the Tayo Captain's Quarters and attach it to the back here. And the reason we have to go with Tayo for the Captain's Quarters is because it doesn't have the ability to snap to other HABs on the left and on the right here, because you don't want people coming from the science lab and the workshop straight into your bedroom. This is your private quarters, so you want to keep it private. The rest you can pick whatever brand you want and whatever type of hab you want. The reason I went with Science and Workshop is because they have the crafting stations within them, but you can pick whatever you want. I recommend going empty as well and filling them out yourself. So let's grab the Stroud Science Lab here and we snap it to the side and grab the workshop and snap it to the side. If you didn't see there, I'm snapping it to the actual Drake cockpit itself. Once I've done that, I'm just going to grab the Nova cowling, which is just a structural part, and snap it to the top. And I will grab the Nova radiator as well and snap it in there. Now, if you're wondering why your parts don't look like this, it's because I have painted everything. You can finish up your ship, then double click on it, and then press J, and that will bring up the color. So you can color everything at once if you've double clicked. Now I will cancel that. And the reason this ship is so good is because all of its meat is in the middle. So you have the grav drive, you have the reactor, and you have your main fuel tank at the bottom as well. So it's protected by the core of the ship. It's almost like everything is armored. Even the shield generator here is in the middle of everything. So it's very difficult for enemies to hit the vital organs of your ship. The only thing they can really get to is your engines. And quite frankly, you're going to rip through them even when you're stationary, if you ever become stationary, because you've got a crazy good shield. But with all the inner workings there, what we need to do is we need to place this shielded cargo hold. Shielded cargo holds, if you can't find one, are usually in the dangerous areas. You can start the pirate mission line to get shielded cargo bays, but essentially put contraband in the shielded cargo area, and when you get scanned, your contraband won't be found. So I'm putting this here essentially for 2 uses. One is that it has a nice sleek profile, which lends itself well to the ship's design, and it also gives you the option to hide contraband if you ever want to do some smuggling. We then grab the 500-ton helium-3 tank, and this one is only 1 story high, so it fits right between it. And then we grab our grav drive. Now, as you can see, this grav drive is 2 stories high, so we need to grab this and put it between the profile of the ship, wedging it between everything. This one here is one of the best ones. It's got, you know, the 50 grav jump thrust. It has 308 health. We want to then grab the SF40 sheared flow reactor. Now this reactor, if we put it in the right spot, has 40 power generated. It does require piloting for, and it does require Starship design for. So if you don't have those skills, you can put in whatever reactor you want and just keep some of your weapons or some of your engine power down if you can't power everything. But this is the maximum size reactor that you can get, at least for now. So we have the bones of our ship here, and then we want to grab our landing bay, and we want to put that aside just briefly, and you'll see it's a Deimos 120 LD landing bay. Just put that aside. In fact, I might pull all of this aside, just out of the way, so you can see it a bit better. You want to then go underneath your ship again, and you want to grab this companionway here. So it's just a 1x1 pop just on top of your landing bay. And then you might just want to take these engines off just for now, just so you can see what's going on. Oh well, so I can show you what's going on. Next, I might as well grab the underworkings here. So we have our Accu Lander 11 landing gears. We have 10 of them, 5 on each side, and we have attached a belly 4, and we have a Tyo cowling aft bottom. These are just structural, and they function as kind of one piece on the side. So let's just grab all of those, like so. So we'll transfer these over to roughly about there. So as you can see, we now have the basic shape of the ship done. Now I want to just move this because this shouldn't be here, but we have the basic workings of the ship here. So I'm going to continue to grab a few things at once. First, I want to grab what is new to the DLC, Freelane DLC, the Nova Galactic double decker unit. This, instead of using ladders to get from floor 1 to floor 2, it uses a staircase. There's actually a 3x1x2 module as well if you want a longer one, but we're using this one for now. So let's grab that and place it like so. I might actually grab these as well while we're here. And let's grab the other one while we're here with the portholes on the top, which lets you look into the void of space. And let's grab a living quarters here. I like using the empty ones just because it allows you to customize more readily. We then want to grab a 1x1. It can be a storeroom, it can be whatever you want really, as long as it's 1x1. And we want to put it at the top, like so. Then we'll take our Assurance SG 1800 shield generator. This is the most powerful shield you can get in the game, but it requires Starship Design rank 4. So if you can't afford that, if you don't have the required skills, once again, you can substitute this for anything. Just try to go for something that doesn't use too much power if it doesn't provide too much max shield health. So we pop that there. And then we grab our missile launcher, CE-59 missile launcher. You can grab whatever missile launcher you want, as long as you grab an equipment plate first and put that there and put your missile launcher on top. With an equipment plate, you can place weapons in spots you couldn't normally. If you don't like the fact that this is firing through the cockpit itself, then you can put it anywhere else. You can pop it on the top here if you really want to. I just like it tucked away like it's a stealth fighter. And while we're here, I might as well take these portholes because otherwise they're just going to be sticking out. And pop those portholes there. All right. Now, we have these Stroud Control Station and Stroud Armories here. The reason I like the Armory and the Control Station is just because aesthetically it's different to the rest. So they just slot down there and there. So now everything is kind of connected. If we throw the 1x1 there and throw the landing bay underneath like so. Now, what will happen is you will enter from that landing bay. You can go up into any of these you can go down here, across here, and into the cockpit. Or from the cockpit, you can exit out to a space station or another ship, or you can go into your captain's quarters like you saw before. So let's take these Port 4 Shroud caps, pop them here, like so, and then take the M50 Ulysses Helium-3 tanks and pop them on the side. Now, if you don't want to use so many Helium-3 tanks, which does increase the mass, obviously, you can just put the portholes there instead. But I like the look of these tanks. They look like they belong. So let's put them there. They almost look like engine intakes. So now we have the workings of a pretty cool ship. Let me just move these down here, just out of the way. Now we have the workings of a very cool ship. We don't really need to do much more to it. I'm just throwing these on just while I'm here. So this is the Galleon S203 cargo holds. These will give you 1,200 cargo space each. So you're going to have a lot with all these combined, but they also happen to make the ship's design look pretty sleek. And then we have the Shroud caps. The caps are just great. And if we take those engines that I discussed before, the SAL 6830 engine, like mentioned, you need to do a particular mission, all that money can buy, along the main line golden path. Once you do that, make sure not to kill the main bad guy at the end. Make sure to make peace, and this will unlock. Once again, it only uses max 2 power for a huge amount of thrust and a huge amount of maneuvering thrust. So if you want, you can place 3 of these on this ship, and it'll be much more powerful than having the supernovas here. And it would also use much less max power. So you can put a few more on and you'll have a far superior ship, much more power, much more maneuvering thrust. But I just like the looks of these particular engines. So I do need to raise it up a little bit because it looks almost like Star Wars in its design here. These SAL 6830s don't have the ability to attach these Artemis DT90 engines to the side of them. So I would need to put a hab there, and I just ruin the aesthetic of it being one large wide engine. So this is it. This works. This ship right now works. It doesn't need the wings. It can function very well like this. I could even throw the Drake C7 cockpit on the top here if I really wanted to, and you would enter from the bottom. But all of these weapons you can just attach to the top of this ship. You can see there are a lot of hard points here that we can install. All your weapons can go on the top. All of these little modules here can go on the top if you really wanted to, and this would be a functional ship. However, we want to go one step further. So let me double click to select everything, and I'll drag that back sort of to the middle there, and I'll go through everything that we have here. First, I want to show you the new equipment tab. As you play the Terran Armada DLC and the Free Lanes DLC, you'll unlock equipment. For example, I've got the micro reactor, which gives you +1 to your reactor maximum. So that's why I've got 41 reactor instead of 40. So getting things like micro reactor, the EM pulse, the advanced scrap unit are all things you can pick up as equipment you can attach to your ship through the DLCs. When you get these, you need somewhere to put them. So that's why I have these wings. With the hard points, with these equipment plates, I can attach all the things I want to, like the conduction grid, like the EMP pulsing shield, like the comm spikes, on the top of these wings. New to the DLC, new to Starfield as well, because of the DLC, is the armor plating. You can put armor plating on the side here. It gives you a lot of hull. It gives you 10 hull for 8 mass. It isn't extremely efficient, but it looks very cool. We have the PBO300 auto alpha turrets. We have 4 of these. You won't need to fully power them all up, but you can. And if you do, they'll absolutely shred your enemies before you have a chance to even shoot them with your main guns, which just so happen to be these auto helium beams, which are attached to the side of the Drake C7 You'll barely need to use these because your auto turrets will just rip through everything themselves. Now what we have here is this stellar reach antenna. This thing only seems to attach to one thing. So you can see here, if I highlight the back of it and press G for attach, only the Nova cowling seems, out of everything, seems to be able to be attached to it. You can't just attach this to anywhere, as you can see. So you need to be very particular in what you attach it to. So I thought, why not make it into a wing? So we have the Nova cowling BL2PF attached to the stellar reach antenna. The antenna increases your ship scanning distance by 20%, which is very useful. We attach a nose cap to that. And then we have two habitation modules side by side here. At the back, we put two portholes, and then we attach armor plating to them. Then we attach it to the ship with a combination of two different things. We have the engine bracer, and then we have the Nova cross passage. If you can't find this at your base, go to Anchorhead and they sell them there. So this will let you walk through into these habitation modules, and this will be like where the crew hang out. So let's go to the side here and let's see where we can actually attach it. So grab that, throw it there, grab that, throw it there, double click and slot it in. Perfect. I'll do it step by step for the last wing. So first you grab your Nova cross passage, you throw it under there, you grab your engine bracer, you throw it under there. If you want, you can put two cross passages, but I just personally prefer just having the one. You then want to grab your habitation module, you want to slot it in there, you want to grab your other one, you want to slot it in there, you want to put the portholes at the back, like so. You want to grab whatever you had at the top. And throw them on. Likewise with these. Just make sure you put all the equipment plates there, ready to go for when you do find things you want to throw on top of them, or you could just absolutely load your ship out with weapons if you really want to. You can put tons of weapons here. Then I'll grab the armor plating. I'll snap it on there. I'll grab the nose cap. I'll put the nose cap here. Then I need to grab the Nova cowling. Throw it on there. And then snap on the antenna to the Nova cowling. I'll also need to take the turrets. So that is all nominal. There we have it. Now, a few quick hints. If you want to paint this all at once, like I mentioned, you double click, it selects everything. You want to then press J and it brings up your three color options. So for example, if I wanted to make this all green, I could do so. I might make it a little bit of a darker green, like so. And then I might want to splash a little black in there. I'll turn the brightness down. And then I might want to add some flare, maybe some orange, a little bit of orange. Color 3 is usually the flare, the highlights. Like so. And then you just press enter. And that's your ship, all painted, all good to go. Hey guys, jumping in here just to tell you a bit more about the PlayStation 5 version since it is relatively new. First and foremost, it's pretty damn good when you're firing weapons. There's this haptic feedback, kind of resistance to the controller that feels really nice. What I thought was really cool though is see these blue lights? They actually change color based on what your health is at the current time. So if it goes into the red, this goes into the red as well, which is really cool. There's a performance mode which hits 60 frames per second, which looked very nice. I stuck to the quality mode though, just because I like it to look a little bit more delicious. But the controls to edit ships on the PlayStation 5 are really easy as well. It's just a matter of pressing X to jump into the ship builder to edit each individual part here. You can also flip it with Y, like so.
You can actually go up and down just with the D-pads. So if you need adjustments, like fine motor adjustments, you can do so very easily. If you just press X out in the open, you've got all of your parts. You can just use the triggers to cycle through them. It's all like this game was made for a console, which it absolutely was. So if you have a PlayStation, all of this is very easy to do.
Now, if you can't find a particular part, you can ask below or check out my ship part guide video. Thanks so much for watching. If this was at all helpful, build yourself a little ship that hits my subscribe button. Until next time, ciao friends.